Casey Ashmore coming to you here in the studio. Thanks again for watching. I love doing these videos for you. You know, we've started all of these video series in the last several months with the recognition about what's going on in our great nation, and two things are happening that are having a profound impact on how we live in this modern era. One, the coronavirus pandemic, which seems to be an unending economic hardship on almost all of our friends, neighbors, colleagues, ourselves. We are praying for all of us to be able to provide for our families and get through this. And as important is how we are going to live up to the rhetoric of our own American Revolution, in that all people are created equal in the eyes of God. And in light of what happened, the tragic death of Mr. Floyd, and how we're moving forward together as a nation to find compromise, to find love, and to persevere through this tough, worst, hard time. The subject of this video series is the adoption process, and I ended the last video series discussing very briefly the difference between a Department of Family and Protective Service or CPS case and a private case. Really, I'm going to be focusing in this video series on how it works in a private case. In other words, step parent, a grandparent, a relative adoption, private hires an attorney to assist with an adoption process. Now, the first thing that needs to occur in that situation is there has to be either a determination that there is no other parental right, in other words, the parents have passed away, or the parent that is going to be substituted out voluntarily terminates their rights. And that can happen with a relinquishment of rights document. That's a special pleading. It is sworn to by the parent that they feel that it is in and agree that it is in the best interest of the health, safety, welfare of their child for their rights as a parent to be terminated, and they can sign and notarize in front of a notary public this relinquishment of rights. And once that's on file with the court, after a certain period of time, those rights are terminated. It is, again, there's a period of time which it can be challenged, but it is a relatively short period of time because the court doesn't want takebacks. They don't want children being pulled around in between homes or emotionally tugged at by parents who are reluctant to give up their parental rights. And that's a huge decision. There's almost nothing more important in a parent's life than, am I going to be a part of this child? Am I going to raise this child? But these things happen from time to time because of need. You know, the parent does not have the resources to raise that child, and they've got to make decisions, hard decisions, as to whether they can provide a safe home, a car seat, transportation, food, and it's one of the most challenging decisions that any parent could possibly face. But that is a first step that must occur, is whether or not the parental rights of the parent who's going to be essentially substituted for the adoptive parent, you know, will they terminate their rights, or will those rights have to be terminated by some other means and method? So, a heavy subject. And while I always try to be positive, uplifting, and informational, this is more informational than the other two. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'll get into more about how this process unfolds. We're going to talk about the petition. We're going to talk about the court's assessment of the applicant for adoption and how all those steps work in the next video series. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the studio.